Welcome back, guys. I'm going to be doing a guide on how to win in the naval department. So I'm not really going to be doing anything on land. I'm just going to be focusing on the naval stuff. So obviously the first thing you don't want to do when you're designing your character at the beginning is to take the free warship. And then you don't disembark with your warship immediately. You want to wait until its crew is at maximum. So it usually only takes 1 day. So just wait for a day to tick over, get your full complement of crew, and then you will be disembarking. So you're going to obviously come out, do the Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga? Oh god, why can't I think what it's called? Lexington and Concord. So you're going to want to do Lexington and Concord first. Now, on ultimate difficulty, you can't keep hold of Portsmouth no matter what you do. So you're going to want to scrap this unit so you keep the officer. You're going to want to bring him down to Leicester. Now, I didn't know this, but if you double click on a city, then it garrisons the unit, or at least it should do. And then you've now got 2 officers available, so you're going to want to recruit a regiment . I usually save 1 slot free for when I get cannons, but if you want, you can put a militia unit in it. But unfortunately, if you delete anything from here rather than the whole division, you will lose the men, the guns, and the officers. So try to never delete from here. So that's why I only take 3 and not 4. So when I eventually put a cannon in, I'm not wasting stuff. And then you're going to want to recruit in Leicester. Okay, so now your recruits are going, you're bringing him down. You're obviously going to move over and take Providence and Newport. Now you might want to only attack Providence with 1 division so he doesn't retreat immediately. If you attack it with both, he'll just retreat. But if you attack it with 1, you will actually be able to do some damage. Sorry, I had the microphone off. So yeah, when you're coming over to Providence, if you only attack with 1 division, then they won't retreat, so you'll be able to do some damage to them. If you attack with both divisions, he's going to retreat, and if he retreats down this way, then it'll be a lot more difficult to take Newport. So go in with 1 division here, and then with your other division start heading towards Newport. And then the goal is to get this ship down to Newport. Now you don't want to sail into this area, so move over to here. Now hopefully you'll encounter a ship that's the same size as you, and because you've waited a day, you're going to have more crew than they have, so you'll be able to get into a melee fight with him and steal his ship. So the whole point of stealing ships really is to use them ships that you're stealing, and then the ones that you've been using are going to be damaged, so you're probably not going to end up using them. So with that in mind, because you know that you're going to be using the ships that you're stealing, don't use any damaging shots on them, only use grape shot. So it's a bit tricky at first, but if you've played Age of Sail, then you'll know how to win melee fights, basically. Okay, so we're going to advance time. We're going to leave here. Don't know why he's taking that route. Now, most of the time, you'll engage someone who's the same size as you, which we have done. So we're going to want to take this fight, steal his ship, and then sail with both ships over to Newport. So I will try to demonstrate. So the place that you start can make a big difference. Always turn over to grape shot immediately. And you unfortunately don't start at full mast, so make sure you put your mast up immediately. Yeah, so if they start downwind, then you can't sail towards them. But we've had a lucky start where we're actually starting downwind, so we can sail towards them. Now what you're going to want to do is aim directly at the front of him. Make sure you right click on him and click on this so you can grapple as soon as you get into position. So whichever way he turns, you're going to mirror him basically. And the idea is to get your... Oh, the game has crashed. Oh dear, I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so we haven't had quite as lucky a start this time. We'll see if we can make it work. He is starting kind of downwind to us, so it's going to be very difficult for us to get into position, unfortunately. Now you can, if you want, restart the battle, and you'll get different starts each time. Sometimes you need to go back to the actual global map and let time move for a second, just so the ships go into a different position. But I'll try and make this work. So you're not focusing on any guns, really. Your sole objective is to board them. So we're going to click on them, click the grappling hook. We're aiming in front of him, but unfortunately we're encountering the wind problem. And that's what I was saying. That's why you can get unlucky starts. So yeah, we're stuck now basically. We'd have to go this way round him. And then come around this way. Now, like I say, guns are not your priority. You just need to get into melee range as quickly as possible. So we've taken far more damage than you'd actually want to. But we're in position now. So you basically want to collide the front of your ship to theirs, like that. And then turn into them. That will then push your ships together and you'll be in perfect grappling range. Now you can end up taking both of your front masts out if you do it a little bit too close to the mast area. But this is looking kind of perfect. We're in grappling range. We haven't sustained too much damage, but it's more than I would have wanted. And then because we waited a day in port, we've got considerably more men than he has. And we've taken our first ship. So you move one crew over and then hit this disengage button. We've now got 2 ships. And the main thing is we've got one perfectly fresh ship because we weren't using solid shot or chain shot. Now, if the ship that you're using gets severely crippled, you might want to exchange both loads of crew over, but you will lose the other ship then, obviously. Okay, so you're now sailing all the way over to here. For some reason I can't click on him. That's weird. Bit of a bug going on there. So now, while he's sailing over here, you just have to hope that you manage to make it. So, do all of the naval combats yourself. You're not going to be doing any more melee because you haven't got any more crew. So, any fights that you encounter, you're actually going to want to try and sink the enemy ships now. So, you'd now take Providence and Newport. You'd obviously bring over the division here and here that you're training. Did I forget to click? Oh no. Where's the unit that was there? Maybe he's going to show up when we unpause it. There we go. Maybe that's why it wouldn't let me select this. No, it's still not letting me select it. That's very strange. Okay, so once you've taken Providence and Newport and got your ship over, you're going to have to recrew your ship. Now, hopefully, the ship that you've just captured doesn't sustain much damage on your way down to Newport, because as soon as you recrew, you're going to want to start going back out looking for more ships to steal. You don't want to sit in port and repair. The whole point of this is stealing ships and using the ships that you steal, not repairing the ships that you steal. So you're just going to be using any damaged ships as cannon fodder, but also to bring extra crew with you so you can, when you get into a melee fight, switch the crew over from the damaged ships into the fresh ship that's now trying to get into melee. Now, unfortunately, there is a bug where sometimes you can't disembark into rowboats. It's incredibly frustrating, and I hope they fix it soon. And unfortunately, it's just something you're going to have to work around because it's a bug. So I will assume that you don't encounter the bug because I can't account for what to do if you encounter the bug. So I'll advance time and then I'll see you when we get to Newport. Okay, so we've made it to Newport. We haven't sustained too much damage, and we've been given a cutter. Now, the cutter is useful, but it's also discardable. So, we're not going to wait until we repair the ships. We're going to come out immediately, and we're going to start trying to look for more ships to steal. We basically want to try and steal as many of these as we can, so when we come up against a bigger ship, we've got multiple of these that we can either engage in melee with or transfer the crew over with or use grape shot with. Now, one of the hardest parts about stealing ships is, after the battle, making it back to port again. Because you're going to have virtually no crew left. And so you're going to be vulnerable. So what you're going to want to do, it's really annoying. I wish you didn't have to do this, but if you send your ship out, so I'm just sending it out to here, as soon as it reaches there, it tries to patrol the whole sea zone. Well, if it patrols and you're over here, you've now got a massive journey to make it back to port. So what you're going to want to do is just hover around your port, and then eventually you'll get into a battle. Now, this isn't really a battle that we want, so I'm just going to auto-resolve it. Now, you can steal cutters if you want, but then you'd have to go back to port and recrew your ship and all that business, so I'd rather just sink them, to be honest. Or just let them get away. Okay, so they've now got, you can see how many guns they've got. They've got 4 ships with 114 guns. Now they've got a pair here, one here, and then they've obviously got another one somewhere else. So you're not going to have to fight all 114 guns. You're only going to have to fight either this pair, a single one, or another single one. So we're going to hang around the port, wait until we get an engagement. And we've got a single ship. And look what we've got. We've got a larger ship than what we've got. So this might be a little bit too early for us, but we're going to give it a go. So we've got two ships that are actually capable of getting into melee. And then you're going to want to get into melee with this one, and then transfer the crew over from the other two, basically. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so we're in a decent position. He's started upwind to us, which is good. Maybe I'm saying the upwind and downwind the wrong way round. I'm not sure. But we're going to want to change everybody over to to grape shot, because we don't want to do any damage to the ship. We're going to want to tell him to lock on and grapple. We're going to want to disengage this ship because he will slow him down, because they'll try to maintain cohesion. So you want the ship that you're grappling with to be single. Really, you want all of your ships to be single. Now, you could try and get them out of the rowboat immediately, but they can get shot when they're in the rowboat, so it's dangerous. We might actually be able to get some grape shot off with them, so let's just hope we don't get the bug. So these two are just going to try and get into grape shot. This one's going to try and get into boarding range. So he's got 235 crew. We've got 208, so we are going to need to transfer some over. So fingers crossed we don't get the bug. Now, if you do get the bug, you can take extreme measures and try to get your ship sunk so you can use the crew from them. I have done that a couple of times. It's worth losing ships that you're not going to really use if you can steal a larger ship. Okay, so we've managed to get the grappling hooks on. So this is a good time now to see if we can actually disembark. We can disembark, that's fantastic. So we haven't got the bug. So we're going to disembark with these. Make sure you hit the anchor so you slow down enough. Then let's see if we can disembark with him. We can't, so we got the bug with the cutter. So with the cutter, we may as well try and get close and do some grape shot. It's looking like we're slightly too slow. We're not quite in front of him enough to be able to get the engagement. You need to be slightly ahead of the enemy, and because we're like a millimetre behind, it's not giving us the grapple, which is very frustrating. But if you keep turning, eventually you'll turn into the wind and you'll go faster than him, because he'll end up having to oh no, we got sunk. We got a rowboat sunk, I think. It looks like he might still be alive. But this is a good time to try and get your cutter sunk because of the bug. Now, don't be ashamed to reload if things don't go your way. So now that we've turned into the wind, we're able to go slightly faster than him. Yeah, one of them got sunk, unfortunately. That's a shame. Just at the wrong time as well. So, although we can't embark at the moment because he's got too many crew, if you click on him anyway, he'll get in as soon as there's space for the crew. It's a big shame that this rowboat got sunk because we might not be able to win this battle with only one rowboat, but we might be able to. Yeah, it's looking like we're not going to get the victory, all because that rowboat got sunk, which is a massive shame. So you can just reload and try it again. As you can see there, we were so close to being able to steal a larger ship, so if it wasn't for that tiny bit of bad luck, we'd get ourselves our next tier ship. So I'll do that off camp, so you don't have to see. Okay, we've got into position. We've managed to get 2 rowboats here this time. Now, the weird thing was, the bug happened with one of the rowboats on the larger ship, but it didn't happen on the cutter this time, so I'm actually going to end up taking the larger ship with me, which is good. So we're currently 106 to 87. We've got more crew here. Now the way the melee works is the larger ship always gets the advantage. So it'll always do more damage against a smaller ship because they're shooting down with the muskets. And obviously it's harder to shoot up than it is to shoot down. So the larger ship will always have a better KD against equal crew. Okay, we've stolen the ship. We're going to want to move. We basically want to move as many crew over as we can, apart from one. So move your captain over, the one with the start, and then leave the one with the least crew. We've now upgraded our ship. So it's basically rinse and repeat from here on out. You're going to want to keep stealing ships of equal size, and then transfer your crew over to the ship that's undamaged, because obviously if you're fighting a ship of equal size and they're trying to sink you and you're trying not to damage them, you're always going to want to use the new ship, the one that you've just stolen, because that's going to be undamaged, and the one that you're currently using is going to be damaged. But as you can see here, because we were using the trick where we're staying close to port, we've now got a very short journey home. So sail to port. You're unlikely to get intercepted when you're this close, where you'll almost definitely get intercepted if you're any further out, basically. So, as you can see, we've actually got 0 crew on this for some weird reason. Maybe that's why it wouldn't let me take the crew off it, I don't know. So, we're now going to be sitting in port until we've recrewed basically all 3 ships, because we're going to want to take as much crew in. So although some of the ships are severely damaged and they're not going to really be combat worthy, they're still good to be able to get the crew out of. So in this screen you can change the priority of which ships you want repairing and recrewing first. So you click on the ship and you click left to put the priority up. I think this also affects which ships go into combat. So you're going to want your least damaged ship in priority 1, your most damaged ship at the last priority. So this one's got better sails and it's also got better hull, so this is going to be your second ship. Now, as for upgrades, you really want gunnery and boarding, because that's basically what we're doing. Now, if you've got damaged ships, so like this is the one that I'm going to be boarding with, so we're going to want the boarding stuff. But the damaged ships, if they level up, you can go for the gunnery stuff because they're not going to be getting into melee. So you're basically going to advance time now until you've recrewed, and then you're going to go out looking for equal size ships to your largest or larger, so you can obviously get bigger and better ships every time you take a ship. So I think that will do for this tutorial. I might continue it on and actually show you the naval battles of me taking each ship, just so you can see the navy grow basically. But I'm not going to be doing any land-based stuff, so we'll basically just be sitting in Leicester and Providence. Now, one thing I did notice, it was quite amusing. You need to protect Hartford, because although you're protecting Leicester and Providence, they will move a division through here and attack Hartford if you're not protecting it. So really, you should always keep one division in Hartford. Normally, you wouldn't keep divisions in backline cities. So like here, this is further away than Providence, so it'll basically never get attacked. But for some reason, because Hartford is your capital probably, they seem to beeline for it if you leave it undefended, so try to always leave a division in there. I don't know if we've got the officers to be able to recruit though. So let's move Richardson and just tell him to garrison Hartford. Okay, that will do for this episode. Hope it was helpful. And yeah, I might see you in the next one doing some more naval stuff. So cheers for watching, take care, and I shall see you soon.